Just one short week ago, we got to hear from an investment guru, not investment advice, about how easy it could be to make money on a short-term trade in Tesla. Well, if there's one thing I know, it's that I should just let Randy Kirk explain why he sold all his Tesla shares on the eve of production and delivery reports to make a quick buck. And boy, did that work out. Let's find out. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So, Randy, we talked last week. I may have led off the show by saying you were off your rocker or meds, and we were going to talk about some price targets. You had some interesting price targets, and you had an interesting theory, one that I've seen people use successfully before. What was your theory? What were you trying to do? What was your goal, and what happened?
So people sit there and they're having a very good time at my expense over the last few days. And so they're saying, well, Randy, you said it's going to the all-time high by Monday. And then all of a sudden on Wednesday, you're saying, I'm going to sell all my shares. That's kind of, how did all that happen? And I have to remind people that news changes your theories. Okay. So if there's new news, and in this particular case, it was new news about Elon starting a third party. And so in my head, I believe that Elon starting a new party would be a difficult thing for the shareholders to swallow. Combine that with what we were expecting was going to be a really bad print on Thursday with regard to cars, because AJ and Kat and go down the list. Yes, last week, all of you were like, it's going to be 350. It's going to be, it's going to be this horrible number. And I'm like, okay, you combine those two, we're going to 250. We're sitting over 300. We're going to 250. I can make some money on that. And the odds of it going up are really low. So it's a 3-day trade. Mm-hmm. Now, people that, watched all this taking place seem to not get all the pieces. They got the piece where I sold all the shares.
Well, people don't like to dig past headlines. Let me add some context real quick. Sure. Wall Street was expecting 385, I think.
Right.
And that was the consensus figure. Some were higher, some were lower. But all of the social media prognosticators, myself included, were below that. The highest was Gary Black at 370. The lowest was James Catt at I think 340. And
340. Yeah.
It, by all accounts, looked like this quarter was going to be not just a miss, but a decline over Q1, which would have painted a very different picture. That would have painted the picture of, forget the ramp, something's wrong. And there was concerns about that. And with those in mind, Randy shared with me his theory, that the theory you just shared, that we could see a big dip and then a recovery within a matter of days.
Days or weeks.
A recovery.
A recovery,
doesn't matter how long your plan was to sell on Thursday, buy back on Friday or Monday when it bottomed out.
Thursday or Monday, because Friday was a holiday. So
right.
My plan was to buy back at 250, 260, make a decent amount of profit on it and then buy it all back. Mm-hmm. And the other side was, I was prepared to take a $5 to $10 loss. So if I saw that I was completely wrong, that the numbers were better than expected, Elon decided not to go into politics, whatever, and all of a sudden the stock's going like this, that I would try to get out by 305. So I actually sold at 298, and I wanted to get out. As I saw the market going up, I tried to get out at 305. I got out at 307. So I did take this. I'm sorry?
You got back in
at 307, yes.
So your total loss was 2%?
2%, something like that. Yeah.
How will you ever financially recover?
Well, we actually financially recovered on that day. Because the stock went up, after I got back in, went up another 8 points. Now, Elon announced to make my stories funnier, is that Elon then announces over the weekend that he is starting the third party, and the stock goes down 25, over the weekend and this morning. So we're back down to, I think it was 288 was the low this morning. So if I'd stayed in until Monday, technically, and I'd really been really on it, I could have maybe bought back at 288 and made, $10.
Hmm.
But I didn't
But
do
that
that.
would require, all that would have required was a time machine.
It's just a time machine. Yeah.
Speaking of time machines, I had someone on X and on YouTube. I don't like to talk politics. I won't talk politics. I prefer to talk spreadsheets. But if politics comes barging into my living room and spills coffee all over my spreadsheet, I have to talk about it. And on X, someone said, because I expressed that my concern for Elon's party is that it would be likely to act as a spoiler. I think it would pull more from conservative votes than it would from liberal votes. Obviously, somebody from either party would be likely to vote for it. But I think the numbers generally would be greater from the conservative side because Elon's social and fiscal policies are conservative. His fiscal policies are not in line with modern conservatives. Modern conservatives seem drunk with spending fury, but Elon is more of a what I would call, I don't know, a traditional conservative, where he wants things like a balanced budget. And I said, this may just act as a spoiler. And someone said on X, well, and you wonder why you don't get invited to events? I said, oh, that makes sense. The dozen events and tours that I was denied over the years before Elon got into politics was because of a post I will have made in 2025.
It's always
You
about the future.
guys, it's you guys, why with the time travel? We have to keep it on the down low. We don't get to talk about it. But we can talk about Sasquatch. Maybe I'll put up a picture
Good idea.
because oh yeah, he hates it, but I just won't tag Sasquatch in it, and it'll. He doesn't use social media, not because he's not online, but because he has AT&T. He just doesn't get any coverage, so he can't see it. So your all-time high by Monday prediction got interfered with by
Yes.
intervening events.
Yes, that's
What
true.
about your other predictions? What about your other predictions? Because we had a show yesterday, you and I, where you said unsupervised by, did you say Q3 or 4?
Well, Elon said before the end of the year, so I'm
Which
just.
year?
I always base all my predictions on what Elon says. Okay, our other executives at Tesla. I sometimes it might be somebody outside of our, I mean, in our community that's not an actual exec, but almost everything that I predict is based on Elon's words. And he said unsupervised by the end of the year. He said 2 to 3 cities of rollout, additional cities of rollout by the end of the year. And he said up a million vehicles on the ground by fourth quarter next year. So the in robotaxi. So these are how I'm basing my statistics. If those things all happen as he says they're going to, the all-time high, I'm still saying, is coming soon. Maybe a week after the earnings call, if the earnings call is as exciting
Mm,
as most people think it's going to be, because
mm,
there'll be a lot of forward-looking things about robotaxi, Optimus, etc. But it may take until after the earnings call now for the all-time high, and 1,000 by the end of the year, because the true value of Tesla right now, based on normal economic principles of projecting future earnings and discounting to current value, is somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 a share.
mm. Depending on the PE ratio we're looking at,
Yeah.
you can make arguments. You can say that it's much too high or much too, I mean, not much, but or too low for a variety of reasons. Well, yeah, but Ford only has a value of like a PE of 5. Yeah, and I still wouldn't buy it. But hey, what are you going to do? There's a big bit of skepticism I recently saw was if Tesla's got all these factories, how come their megapack deployments are so low? And let me add some context there. In the in Q1 or 2, uh, Tesla deployed more stationary storage than they did in all of 2022 in one quarter. And in the first half of the year, Tesla's deployed more megapacks, more stationary storage, I guess that would include Powerwall, than every year prior to 2023 combined.
And 50% higher than the first half of last year.
Well, is it 50% higher?
50% higher.
Hmm.
Yep. Yep.
Uh, but with two factories already producing these, another one on the way, why aren't deployments higher?
because we have
Yeah.
this bookkeeping
Yes, that's
mirage.
correct.
Yes, yes.
We
And so,
don't count it until it's deployed, and deployed means electrified. So all these packs that go out that can take months, years to actually electrify, uh, even though money has been taken in, it is not counted as deployed until it is actually in use, which means if they stopped making mega packs today, there would probably be another 2 or 3 years of deployments.
yeah, right, right. 100%.
It's a flywheel.
Yeah. In fact, that people have done various studies because we don't really know the details because it's all in the contracts and the contracts can all be different. We don't know anything yet about the bookkeeping with regard to Shanghai. Uh, Based on the number for the second quarter, it would look like maybe there was nothing of Shanghai in there or almost nothing, but yet we know that there were shipments to fields and installations taking place. So yeah, it's hard to know. I'm predicting that this third quarter we will see a significant increase in deployments, maybe even up to 15.
I am thinking that in terms of deployments, it may be lumpy in coming years, but it's only going up. The
Yeah.
trend will be sharply up.
Yes.
It's ridiculous to think otherwise. Shanghai only started deliveries a few months ago. I would be very surprised if more than 10 or 20% of them had been marked as deployed. It's kind of a big deal. So let's talk about the financials real quick, the Q2 results.
Mhm.
We had some big incentives last quarter. We had the last rounds of people being able to spend. The new rule is I think you can get up to $1,000 off the purchase of your car from referrals. The old policy was whatever it is, you just get it. So people like me, I was able to use my referral dollars to give my help my son with a tremendous down payment on his car in exchange for being able to use it on my road trips,
Mhm.
which is a good deal for me. Those discounts are uh, substantial. They had zero interest on some models, 1.99 on others. That's worth thousands of dollars off each unit. And because of the way those are structured, I would imagine Tesla has to prepay that interest to the bank at some discounted rate because not everyone keeps their loan for the full term. What what are you thinking we're going to see in terms of financials, especially in light of these discounts?
Well, forgetting Bitcoin for a minute, because this morning AJ estimated Bitcoin alone will be about $250 million of additional profits. But if you take that out of the loop, I think it's going to be fairly close to last quarter. It's not going to be a great quarter. I called the bottom this morning. I think
Mm-hmm.
the stock hit its bottom Monday morning at 288. I don't think we'll ever see that again, unless we bounce off of it again. That's possible. But I think that is the bottom, bottom, bottom. I think it's all up and to the right from here. That's just me. And let me say,
Mm-hmm.
can I say one thing about my theories about how I do analysis, just real
I'm
quick?
sorry, Randy, we're out of time.
Okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So I picked these numbers partially for fun, partially as experiments, partially as a measuring tool. And I've been right a couple of times pretty dramatically, and I don't get a lot of credit for that. Over a year ago, we hit 300 for the high for that year. I picked it on the day it happened, and then it never went back above 300 again until recently, the first part of this year. And then the first part of this year, Brian Wong and I both predicted. I was at 410, he was at 450 for the as the run up was taking place. But way before that, we had predicted it, and of course, both of us were low, and nobody else was even in our ball game. Nobody was even close. So yeah, I get it right sometimes. A broken clock is right twice a day, but there are more measuring tools. What I hope people will do when they come to Brian's channel and hear me talking all this nonsense is just look at the analysis under it and see if the analysis under it makes sense for you to add to your methods for analysis. That's it.
Now, I love me some that future guy, Brian W.
The
I
other,
call us the Brian twins
yes.
uh, because honestly, when I have him on, I'm like, well, I'm getting two of the same feed. And I asked of which of us is the evil twin. He's like, you have the goatee. I'm like, oh, I am the evil twin, which tracks with the rest of my data. So I'm fine with that. I don't know about endless up and to the right. The PE is quite high, but the prospects are quite good. If you are one of those viewers who says, I don't count robotics, I don't count autonomy, I don't count maybe a little bit of power, I would say you should not be interested in this company.
Yeah.
You can follow it, but if you don't see those, I don't know why you would invest.
Right.
I think it would have to be just a meme stock level investment, just following little moves. And in that case, I don't know that the information here would be valuable. So what I'm saying is, don't watch my channel. Watch Randy's. No, unless you like good jokes, in which case, come here and watch me make good jokes about Randy.
And yeah, and besides, I have the shirts. I may not
He's
have jokes,
got the
but I got the
shirts.
shirts. Yeah.
Hey, what? It's
So,
great.
yeah. I
Yeah,
understand the
whenever.
cost you can take for shirts, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of those are what I would like to hear from folks in the comments is, what are your predictions for earnings for Q2? It's coming up in low but a couple of weeks, and let's see how our prognosticators do. I will add that if you are a time traveler, you should don't disclose it, and don't, I mean, make it look like you're guessing rather than like, you know, just cheating.
Yeah.
So and if you are a time traveler and you do disclose it, just know that the Time Commission is watching or will watch at some point in the future, which of course means always. I think it was in Hitchhiker's Guide that they explained, do you know when time travel was invented, Randy? Always. It's time travel. It's if it's invented once, it's always invented. Always has been. So guys, what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? The list is long. Fill it up. We got to know. Head over to Randy's channel, see what he's up to. Probably raising trouble, probably making wild guesses. But we'll find out when you come back and report on it. Everybody else, smack buttons, like things, do all that. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe if you would. It means a lot. And stay tuned, stay juicy. I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots in the comments.